message. And now that the police had to celebrate yesterday, a lot of things will, of course, unravel tonight. I'm being joined by Otunba Bolaji, Deputy Chief of Staff to the National Chairman of the Police Community Relations Committee. He's live here on the show to give us this discussion. Thanks so much, Otunba, for joining us on the program. It's been a while. A lot of persons may be having a concern about the state of the nation. Yesterday was a big day for the police. I know fully well that you were there participating at the event, but people are now saying, are police really working enough in Nigeria, owing to the fact that we are still having issues of kidnapping, we are still having issues of theft, vandalism of public properties, lives of individuals are not still guaranteed. People are still struggling to protect themselves. So a whole lot of questions. And then this falls back to ask, is it really worth celebrating our Nigerian police?
Thank you very much, my moderator. I'm happy to be here again on a special day of this question of asking why the police should celebrate. Well, to start with, the National Police Day is a significant event recognized by the contributions and sacrifices of the police officers in maintaining law and order. The highlights of the importance of the National Police Day, I want to give that first. We're supposed to recognize the police service, the National Day, acknowledging their critical role of being policing officers and within the safety and security. We're supposed to appreciate them for the sacrifices, the honors they made to our officers, both alive and still in the service. We are supposed to be promoting the community and the engagement within the events in and out. So with this, I think we should know that celebration of police achievements, National Police Day celebrates the achievement and success of the preventing and combating the crimes. We all say we have the opportunity for reforms and improvement. The day provides an opportunity to reflect on the police reforms and the improvement, enlightening the areas of growth and development. Enhancing the police community relations by recognizing the importance of the police services. National Police Day helps to strengthen the police community relations and promote the inter-partnership within the members of the public and the safety, inspiring the future generation of even other children unborn to join the police. If I should be mentioning the advantages of the police a lot, we will not go today, but the question is, what are the improvements on the police?
Are they working enough?
Are they working
to justify all of those things that you've actually admitted?
The answer is 100% and 1. And I can give the reason. If you look at the numeration of the police, we thank God for the new system they have been using by employing the 10,000. We know how many years it takes them to pick up the 10,000 units that we said we should be going. By ratio, we're supposed to, American ratio or international ratio, we're supposed to be having 1 policeman to 100 person. But in Nigeria, we're having 1 policeman to 10,000 people.
You feel the numbers are not enough?
No, not enough. Now, the area of that is not for the community, it's for the government to see how do we match that up. And that is why probably in 1984, one of the police officers navigated and brought out what is called Police Community Relations Committee to give us the community, because in a community you discover that it's going to be only maybe 5 policemen to about 250 members in the market day and co, but we still respect them. Those days, respect is given to the police when they're always on their short knickers, but now we don't have that respect because of the civilization and electronics, or fighting for your right, knowing your right. Now, the question you ask, that are they doing enough? The answer is yes, because sometimes you need to be closer to the police. You will appreciate them. Some people work 24 hours round the clock. Go to the barrack and ask their wives. Some people, they don't even see their wives. They don't see their husband for a good 1 week. While other people are in the house sleeping, snoring, and being happy. While they are outside. The only thing that I want to say is that let us appreciate the little they are doing. Now, we always say the police are not working. But there's never any person that has problem. Do not say, let us go to the police station. And out of the services, the agencies we have, the security services we have, police is the only one that has enumeration to the grassroots. Go to any village today, you will see one single policeman. Go to any station, you will see minimum of 2, 3, 4 policemen. And when you go yesterday, you will see what is happening. You appreciate. And this is where you can see what is happening. Before Godama yesterday, that's the first time I'm seeing the strength of the police. But the only thing that we are underfunded. They are not properly taken care of. Look at the youths. Look at how beautiful they are. We don't appreciate. If it's abroad now, you will see a lot of commentation. I was expecting this morning. Look at a human being dropping from the helicopter. This belongs to a person. Look at the fine matches they are doing. Everything was in order. And it was a standard way of this thing. So it's good for us to be always appreciating what we have. I want to give kudos to the IGP Kayode Adeolu Ogbetokun for this initiative. Most of us might have birthdays dates. We have birthdays dates. You see every day on the platform. What stops us from having Police Day? To appreciate them even for once and see what they are doing. Because when his son does something very well, the father pampers and say, keep up, keep it up. But what I'm trying to say that the police are doing their best because of the little information they are having, and they are the best intelligent officers. Go abroad and see what they are doing. They appreciate them. Some of them, if they go on external something, they ask them to come back because they know the value, that they know the training they have.
Otunba, I mean, there is a common saying that police is your friend, but that phrase, some Nigerians cannot relate because, for instance, you find some Nigerians being maltreated, being handled on the situation. Just like yesterday, I'm gonna bring you clips of the protests. People, went out to the street to protest. If you go to United States, people protested. I mean, every other country is practicing democracy. Appreciate protests. Protest is not that they are trying to take over government. They're not trying for destruction and all of that. But just like yesterday, they were demanding for restoration of our democracy back to Rivers State, issues of our Cyber Crime Act bill that was already at the National Assembly. So some person said, tear gassing protesters, armless protesters, peaceful protesters is not the way to go. Can our police begin to do better when it has to do with situations like this?
Yeah, you see, let's be realistic. There's a proverb in my language that there's no smoke without fire. Before a police takes this type of action, they have gotten some information. Most of these protestants, call them to dialogue now, they don't know what they want. They only push them by some people.
Do you feel that?
I can tell you today.
Going out to protest hunger.
Yes,
all of those
my brother, when you see, I think this thing is beyond police. When we are talking of police, but our economic situation. The federal government is trying to do its best, as far as I'm concerned. I'm a good politician. I'm from the oppositions, but what I'm trying to say is that before you can accept somebody, you must be an adult. These people have 4 years. Bolaji Adigun, would have preferred them being assessed after 2 years. It's like a building that is destroyed. You have to remove the garbages before you start the foundation and before you start building. But you can't start commenting on foundation because you get it wrong. So I would have loved our politicians, and I would love our president to see how we can come as unity and have one unifier for anything that is extension for 4 years. Like I just left a seminar in Jukwe when I said there's supposed to be room for communication, for assessment, for you to tell us, please, in every year, let us have 6 months feedback. What do you intend to give us when you come in? Like somebody asked that question, he said he's going to check Naira, Naira will come down, fuel will come down. So after 6 months, we need either himself or the Minister of Communication needs to come out to defend some of these things, because it's like somebody who wants to enter a house and you have been given the key and you said you want to break everything off. Supposing you get there and you miss stone that needs excavator to carry the stone, you're going to have a problem with it. So what I'm trying to say that there's no any person or any angel that can build our country than we Nigerians, and we need to sacrifice, and we need to build in. Grassroots are suffering, and what we need to do is that let us try to get to them and explain. Like I came in one time, I was saying that everything is supposed to have schedule. From this month, January to February, from March to this, from this to this, from this to this. And if there's any problem that is causing you not to have that point, the best thing is to explain to yourself, to explain to the community. Bring them out, and each governor should be able to explain, give accountability of what is having and what has it done. Because we are having the problem, we have been told that the fuel subsidy that was removed has been added to the value of what the IGR, the governors are doing. We should be able to ask them. So when we start from the chairman, we now go to the governor, then we come to the presidency. But most of us, we always accuse everything. If somebody pollutes, you say federal government, somebody has an accident, federal government. Are we be able to divide each person as they've done their job? From the council, has he done his job? Because if a councilman is doing his job, the community will enjoy from it. The councilman will go to the local government chairman. The local government chairman will know what is happening within his community. The chairman now will go back to the governor. The governor will now have the impact of what is happening in Kubwa, what is happening in Jikwe, what is happening. Like now we're having different type of security problems. In Zuba is a different thing. In Jikwe is a different thing. In Pape is a different thing. So we need to have a table where this question, where these reports will come out. And what do we do about it? What is the solution? It is the same people that will give solution, because you know your territory better than I do. I know you know your own territory better than I do. So what we need to do, let us come to the right table. But if we sit down every time, we'll continue criticizing our country, I bet you we shall not get to
But Otunba, criticism is not wrong. People are saying that for democracy to work, people must engage a government, but they must question the government. They must criticize the policies of government. Even the opposition, even when the president, even when he was in opposition,
that is the area I was telling you about. That demonstration is not the major something. How many people have engaged their local government chairman? You can dialogue to your local government chairman.
A policy of subsidy removal was taken by the federal government.
Good.
So that is the greatest policy affecting everyone.
And we have been told where some of the money is going, and we have been seeing it. The IGR is increased. So from where is it coming up? So what are they doing with that money? Must we continue criticizing the federal government every time? Let the criticism comes down. Like I'm saying, an opposition leader. But what I'm trying to say that sometimes we only hook something from the top.
But do you know what some of these governors are saying? Some of these governors are saying that because of inflation, things has gone 3 times how they would have actually used.
What have they contributed?
So the increase of
what have they contributed in their own states? There are a lot of things untapped. I'm a beneficiary of traveling a lot of places. I've gone to Akwa Ibom, I've gone to Maiduguri. There are a lot of things that are not tapped. I'm still saying it. Go from here to Gobe, you see a lot of mineral resources on the road. Can't the state government do something about that? In my state now, they brought in some agriculturists that, you know, to see what they can do about mango, what they can do about cashew. It's an improvement. Is it the federal government is going to know what is the best thing? We all know Makurdi is what's it called? Benue State is a full basket of food. What has the governor done on that? Sometimes you just see food wasting. Go to the town now. Anywhere you see cashew. Within the next 2 months now, you will hear the price has escalated. Can't we look for how to preserve these things, Tomatoes, can't we see how we can preserve it? Must we go to China to know how to provide? Then what are our ITT doing?
So the local government and the state are not looking.
They are not looking inwardly. All of us are looking at the.
So you feel they have the capacity to fight this hunger that is in the land and the hardship. That's your subscription.
Exactly. Now, if the government of Benue State expands its agriculture, mechanized agriculture, people will work, food will there. Go to Niger State. We have rice in abundance. We have our used land. Why can't they do a farming? Go to Egypt. You'll be amazed. It's not everything that is federal government. In the southwest, God has made this country that nothing you plant on this earth without even fertilizer to come out. I was amazed when I went to some places in the southwest. You see maize in the farm. No, they are growing. How do we save them for the unknown days? Yams are there, Boku. Now you see a tuber of yam about 5. They sold it for 16,000-20,000. I can bet you the next 3 months now you will see one yam is costing 20,000. The same thing Irish potato. It's gotten in Plateau State. Those days we used to buy a whole basket for 100 naira, 1,000 naira. But now it's costing 18,000 because there's no farming. Let each governor do what he can do to save his own facility. If 36 states can come up with mechanized this thing, it will help the federal government. Then the federal government can face other things. We are talking about roads now. I can testify that I've been seeing the roads improving. Federal capital has changed from where it used to be. We used to see UK, Dubai. We are now having Dubai in Nigeria because there's nowhere you see that you are not penetrating. Kudos to them on that. But the question is, are we using the correct amount to do it? I hope we are not sabotaging. That is my own as an opposition leader. We're not sabotaging it because a road construction that's supposed to cost 20 million or 30 million, you put 200,000 on it and you do it. It's a sin. And you'll be accountable to God. What are we going to do with the wealth? Thank you so much.
Because one of the matters, away from the issues of hardship that also triggered some of these protests that we are seeing, is a state of emergency declaration in Rivers State. Some person are saying, can we have, inviting the military to take back government house and suspending governors, suspending a House of Assembly, is aware of taking away democracy in the state. That is a democratic sentence. Do you feel that protest, or those persons who are holding on to that to be one of the reasons why they are out there protesting, are justifiable?
Personally, now I want to speak personally on that. And as an elder, I will give kudos to President Bola Tinubu. And the reason is that the grievances has been lingering for too long. And if it's allowed, destruction will come. And don't forget, some part of it is where we are getting our petrol and other, that's the resources of our minerals, of our source of fuel and coal. Now, I would have expected, because I've been following it, that's why I said personally, I've been following it. What are the elders doing? This is where elders failed. Because there's no person that came from heaven. They have parents, they know how they grow, they know their names, they know what they do. What stops? When we are talking politics is a game of numbers. And sometimes when you speak politics, you can only rig where you are popular. And once anything happens to them, you look for a solution. And the solution is that I was expecting the elders to might have called Wike and called the governor. And because they say when two elephants fight, what happens? It is the grass that suffers it. And that's exactly what happened in that place. I was expecting that the elders, for the past 6-7 months, that this thing has been lingering. Because everybody is trying to show this supremacy, that I am more than this, I am more than that. Why it shouldn't come? The interest of the community, the interest of the state should have come first. Because my belief that the two of them, all of them, nobody is having the interest of his own state. Everybody is fighting for the highest role or what. But because when we talk about community, the poor ones are the ones suffering, and they can come up and say, look, we want this, what do we do this? Let us do this, let us do it. You will soon be this, you will soon be this. They don't have to be settling it. But how it generated that it now became a talk of war, and if such a decision is not taken, it may not work. And the other area that you are saying that is suspension of the governor. Well, I don't know what is. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know what it says about that. But my own is that there should be peace in that country, and the only thing that there can be peace is by having somebody within the 6 months to do what he can do. Right. They can still become. But all I need to do is that the elders need to work on themselves.
Otunba, you understand police community relations. You understand what has happened in Edo State recently, where some vigilantes were going to Kano for a Salah celebration, but some vigilantes, who were also keeping the community safe, said these are kidnappers, these are people who are coming to attack us. So they took laws into their hands. Otunba, if you say that there's a need for us to have community policing, how well should state or local government be prepared in terms of having this kind of conversation? Because those vigilantes, as some said, is registered with the state government.
Well, it's really unfortunate what happened in those states. And the only thing I can say on that is it's really a misfortune. Because it's like you ask me to watch this house, and you give me a gun, you give me a cutlass, and somebody is pursuing a lizard on my fence, or maybe one of his things fell into my house, and I'm in the room, and I only heard somebody drop from the fence, boom. The first thing I would do is to ask that person down. I think there's a communication gap which we need to work on. When you said you are vigilantes, or you are people that are tourists going back to the north, there's number of groups, and let me tell you, such things. I traveled to ordinary Niger here. I entered Niger on Thursday. I went back on Monday. I was fined on Monday to pay a certain fine because I refused to go and report myself to the police. I think what we need to do is that anytime such a thing, there's supposed to be a leader. You go to the nearest police station, and we are so person, report yourself. We are so person, moving from so person to so person. We need your protection, or we need your clearance.
How about carry of firearms? They said they carried some local guns for.
That's what I'm saying now. We are not there.
With that kind of
we are not there, and that's why we're saying that. So we even at the meeting of Life Camp last 2 weeks, we talked about that. Even in Nigeria, here in Abuja, you see somebody with tricycle is carrying a knife. You see a bicycle rider carrying a knife to do what? You said it's part of culture. It should not be allowed. So what I'm trying to say that all these things, they have shouted that all arms should be surrendered. Nobody has obeyed. You cannot carry a knife and say you are traveling somewhere. Ordinary blade could cause a harm, because when you tear somebody at his vein, it's finished. So now somebody carrying arms, you are crossing a state without any permission, and you are not one, you are not two, you are not three. So what I'm trying to say that it has happened, but I am sure the federal government and my able Nigerian police will look for a solution whereby we need to educate, and that's why I'm saying that education it's very paramount for us to speak to the grassroots, for them to know the limitation. We say freedom of movement, but freedom of movement, you can't just move. Why do you have passport before you want to go to Ghana, before you go to UK? It's for you to know the do's and don'ts of that state. So if you are in one state, you should be able to know. If you go to Kano now, you can't just say you want to do anything anywhere. There must be a caution, and the same thing in other states, there must be caution. So all we need to do that, if there is going to be such movement, let them move to the nearest police station and report themselves. They can give them protection by moving them to a certain place, to a certain point, then deliver it to the next person, and they will get to where they are going.
Not taking laws into their hands.
Not taking laws into their hands, because we don't know what might have transpired. Ordinary Mebola here, we know what the scavengers, we normally have problem with them. Somebody will carry your thing, they say the next thing he carries, you see him with a dagger, and the dagger somebody's down. So what we need to do that, we need to educate the new, and that's what I'm saying, traditional rulers has a lot to do. All these traditional rulers, wherever police is not there, traditional rulers should take up the responsibility by educating us on our movement, on whatever we want to do.
All right. Otunba, before we go, what is your message for Nigerians for police? Because you said it's good that we celebrate our men. Yes. It's good that we get involved in for policing, intelligence gathering. What is your message to Nigerians watching this show tonight?
Well, thank you very much. All I can say is that we have to appreciate what we have. The Nigerian police are doing very well, because I only pray, I don't pray, and I only pray, I don't pray that one day they should say they want to strike for 1 day or 1 week. It is then we know their value. But with the little we have, they are doing their best, because we can see the crime rate is reducing drastically. Except going to deceive ourselves, the crime rate, because with the inception of the IGP Kayode Agwetokun, he has been doing a lot of retraining discussions, grassroots discussion, open, and that very day is supposed to be a day for us to rehearse and to tell them where they've done wrongs, where we need to do come up, whatever, and we need to praise them wherever they do good. Let us praise them, not until when they do something we now start shouting that they have done this, they have done that. So my simple something to Nigerians is that we don't have any other home than this Nigeria, and we have said it. Nigeria is our country, and let us always remember the code of conduct. May God help us, and the Almighty God will be. I have no other country to go. My children have no other country to go. When you go, you are still going to come back.
These countries are the only country that we have.
It doesn't belong to anybody. It belongs to me and you.
Everybody.
Thank you, Annie. Security is everybody's business. When you see something, say something, so that something can be done on time to avoid a destructive issues. Thank you, and God bless.
Otunba Bolaji, another statement. Thanks so much for joining us on the show. Deputy Chief of Staff to National Chairman of Police Community Relations Committee. Thanks so much once again for joining us on the program.
Thank you, Nigeria.
All right, everyone, we'll be turning attention to Anambra. There are a lot of issues coming up. People's Democratic Party have just nominated Chief Jude as a flag bearer ahead of the November election. Just after this break, we'll be looking at that issue. I'll be joined by public affairs analyst Charles Ojoku will be joining us to review all of these matters coming from Anambra State. Do stay with us. We'll be right back.